brother had come to the United States, become a US citizen, and wanted to be reunited with his family. And so he filed a petition for his parents as a US citizen. But that particular category of visa that they were eligible for doesn't include derivatives, which means that 12-year-old Diana wasn't included in that petition. And so her parents were faced with a difficult set of options, right? They could come to the United States and take this opportunity and leave their 12-year-old behind, which wasn't actually an option for them. Secondly, they could give up the opportunity to come to the United States to maintain the unity of their family. Or thirdly, which is what they were advised to do, they could come on their immigrant visas. As soon as they get here, the green card holders apply for a temporary visa for their daughter, and then as soon as they get here, apply for her to get her green card as a green card holder. So that's precisely what they did. Parents came in with their immigrant visas, became green card holders. Daughters came in on a temporary visa. As soon as they got here, parent filed a petition for their child. The petition was approved because she is a child of a lawful permanent resident, but the green card application was denied. Why? Because children of lawful permanent residents have to wait for a visa to become available. So they just paid about $3,000 in these immigration fees and didn't really understand what had happened. But Diana hadn't been enrolled in school, she was excelling. And so when she was 16, she had been performing very well in school. She speaks English, Spanish, and Italian. She was a straight A student, and her high school teacher said to her, you're really bright, you should take some college classes. And so she said, okay, I need a social security number to do that. Mom, how do I get one? So that was when her mom explained to her that they had spent all this money, but they don't really know what had happened. So she said, that's fine, I'll go to a lawyer, I'll apply again, not a problem. So she goes to this lawyer who says, oh, well, your visa wasn't available, but enough time has passed, so now there is a visa available. We're just gonna file another green card application. So she spent $1,070 plus another $400 for her medical exam. She went to an interview, and the officer said to her, we're sorry, we know that you meet most of the requirements, but because you're not the immediate relative, you are not eligible for adjustment of status, and so you can either go back to your home country to get your green card, or if your father becomes a US citizen before you turn 18, then you can apply. So what did Diana do? She sat down every night with her father, who suffers with mild mental retardation, and she taught him English and civics every night while she was working and going to school. But her father could not pass the test. And so they spent another $680 trying to get his citizenship, and she was devastated, right? She was devastated that he couldn't get his citizenship. So then she hears about this work permit program that was announced, and she gets all of her documents together, and she applies, and she gets something called DACA, right? Her work permit arrives 10 months after her 18th birthday. So then this family comes to me about the dad's citizenship, and I say, okay, we're gonna try to get you a disability waiver. It's a bit of a tug of war, but it took us about 1.5 years, but we did it. But why does your daughter just have a work permit? Like everyone else in your family has status. And they said, honestly, we don't know. So it was then that I had realized all of the steps that they had taken, all of the money that they had spent, and the devastating news that because her work permit came 10 months after her 18th birthday, if she returns to Colombia to get her green card, she'll be stuck there for at least 3 years. And so with each day, we talk about immigration laws, we talk about doing it the legal way. Diana's story is unique in that she might have a remedy, right? If we can prove to the government that it would be an extreme and unusual hardship for her father, if she had to stay outside the country, she might be able to get her green card. But that provisional waiver program, our current administration has vowed to dismantle that program. Also, the work permit that allows her to support her disabled parents, what she's doing now is she'll work for about 1 year as a bartender, save up enough money so she can take classes at Dutchess, and then do it again for another year. This is a girl who speaks 3 languages, was a very high achieving student, taking care of her family. But with each day, if the DACA program ends, she'll lose her ability to work and she'll resume accrual of unlawful presence. If she departs the United States because we've proved the hardship, she still risks being stuck outside of the United States. And so we talk about laws and regulations, but what does this story show? Her story is unique in that she might have a remedy, but her story is not unique in that that we live in a system that instead of keeping families together, it's tearing families apart, either because of the visa wait times or because one member of the family was not able to adjust status with the rest of the family, and then immigration comes to pick them up, right? We also live in a system that presents families with an impossible set of options and criminalizes people for things like your work permit expiring or your work permit not coming on time because of delays. And so I think the conversation, we hope, as more of these promising young people are coming out of the shadows and sharing their stories, that we can continue to put a human face on the issue of immigration, because with each day, lives are hanging in the balance. So what are some of the common pathways to lawful status? The most common is through a family member. So if you have a lawful permanent resident adult child, spouse, or parent, that individual can submit a petition for you. In many categories, there's a waiting period depending on what that relationship is. But the first requirement to apply for lawful status in the United States is that you have a lawful entry. And so of the 12 million that Maria mentioned, about half of them entered without inspection. And so those individuals would likely have to return to their home country for at least 10 years in order to be able to get their status. And so we ask that question of why don't people get in line? One, because many, if they don't have that qualifying relationship, there is no line. And for others, in order to do that, they'd have to be separated from their families. So